All right, folks. So I think today's just as good of a day as any to give you an update on the hydroponic garden so far. Now, right now, this is a transition time where we go into spring and all that good stuff. So, what I like to do here is I'm going to wait probably another couple weeks before I really get into some hardcore planting because the weather's just going to kind of do this where we're going to get probably a couple more cold nights and stuff like that. So I try to just minimize my excitement right now. So what I got going on here is just this structure, which is all pallet wood. The base there is just I got these crates at this business. They're like military crates. They use them for whatever. But inside, I have the. Remember, I was saying yesterday's podcast about using containers for from restaurants, and that's what I have in here. They're just they had oil, like vegetable oil, in these containers, and of course I had to wash them out. But once you wash them out, they're like giant milk jugs. So all you got to do is just bore a hole in them, and then you can put your plants inside there. So that's what's going on here. I have some prize head lettuce. That's what that is. You can see it's growing pretty well. And then these in the front here, I think they're charred. I'm not 100% sure, but these were almost dying because I left them out in the cold. So I don't know if they're even going to survive, but these are doing good. And now I come over to this thing. This is like my newest addition. And what this is just a hole in the ground. And what I did was I put a pond liner in there, a piece of a pond liner. And then I fill it up with hydroponic solution. I mix it in a 50-gallon drum. Hydroponic solution's in there. And then what I do is I take normal pots, like planting pots, and then what I do is I put my plants in there. Now you can see these things are starting to take off pretty good. This is chard. So chard's pretty easy to grow as long as you grow it in the right time of year. So this isn't really that fascinating as far as growth goes, but they did start as babies. So you can see here, though, I've only had these in here for, I don't know, a couple weeks maybe. But going on 3 weeks now. But they're already starting to really take off, so that's pretty cool. And then this thing here, same concept, except for it's above ground. So there's a liner in here, and inside the liner, I have my hydroponic solution, and I just got all this netting here, and you can see here I got some plants growing in here. This is mostly spinach, so that's what we got going in here. Now, once again, the chickens are going to be out of here. I got to put together a chicken tractor for them, but I want to get that chicken tractor out on the property here because this is just... it's too much of a pain to keep cleaning this and stuff, and it's like I said in previous videos, it just comes down to me getting to understand the property in which we live and understanding, like, the coyotes, as long as I build a good structure, they're not going to be able to get to the chickens. So these chickens are all going to be in that tractor, and basically with the chicken tractor, it goes out on the property, and then I can just put it on wheels and then move it every day and get a fresh pasture every day, and then I don't have to clean up after them. And actually, it'll fertilize the ground. Same with the roosters over here. So this whole area is going to be a farm eventually. So what I got going on over here is another pallet structure. Now this pallet structure holds in there, I'll show you in a minute. But right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Cherokee wax beans are going to go in here, I decided. Because the whole thing, hey, check out my cats. So these are new cats. We have 3 of them. My wife picked them up. She volunteers at the shelter on the weekend. There's a animal shelter in Benson. And we've adopted 3 cats so far. So we let the cats, first of all, we keep them in for about a month so they know where home base is. And now we let them out during the daytime, for a few hours. And then what will happen is they'll actually want to come back inside. So, and then we at night we leave them inside. But eventually we'll have it to where they can come and go. But it's a slow process to get them acclimated to being out here. But you can see here they're having a blast. But of course, you know, rodent control and all that good stuff, it's nice to have them around. So right now they're kind of hunting, and I think the rodents are going to be in for a nice surprise now once they see that we got some cats out here. So anyways, I'm going to have Cherokee wax beans going in here. And the netting, of course, and I'm going to use those same containers that I just showed you there. They're about 5-gallon containers. They're going to be filled with hydroponic solution. They'll be covered, and then the beans will grow here, because the Cherokee wax, I believe, are bush beans. They're not pole beans. Well, whichever one I'm growing, I know that they're bush beans, so I don't need to have like trellises and stuff for them. So they're going to grow in there. Now we go into here. And this is probably the best example here of this hydroponic growth, because these are really starting to take off now. Now, come in here, we got a couple things going on. These buckets in the ground have a hydroponic solution in them. That hydroponic solution is growing, these are snow peas. Now, inside this hydroponic solution, the only thing that I haven't done yet, I actually got to do this today, is I got to cover the tops of these buckets, because the algae will start to grow in here. Right now the temps are cool enough to where algae is not as big of a problem with this stuff, and I just know this from experience. But once it starts to get warmer, you got to make sure you cover everything, because algae, especially when you put a hydroponic solution inside these buckets, the hydroponic solution feeds that algae. So the nitrogen that's in there is actually, that algae will grow like literally overnight. So you got to be on top of that. So if I take you in here, I'll show you. These were babies when I planted them. So you can see here, they've already started. They were below this thing, and now they're starting to take off. They're starting to flower. So we're going to start getting some peas here. And you can see here, they're all growing pretty well, starting to flower. These are self-pollinating, so you don't have to really worry about them. So that's another nice thing about these types of plants, is that if you have the, just read up on what you're growing and then know if you have to come in here and pollinate them or not. You can see here I got some peas growing there, but yeah, here over the coming weeks these are really going to start taking off, and that'll be great. So in these bags here, this is the last thing I'm going to show you guys and gals, is what I have here in this bag is just normal Arizona dirt. These are all feed bags left over from mostly goats, you can see here. And I planted potatoes in there. Now the way this works is the potatoes will grow up, and as they grow up I'll add more dirt to this, and then you'll start getting potatoes in here. So this is a good way to use your feed bags. And all I do is to germinate them, I close up the feed bags and close them, and then once they're germinated, then I open them up and I roll the bags down. So you can see right here the potatoes, they're growing. All of them, I think, yeah, all of them are growing potatoes, so that's great. Once you get in there, you can see them. And I believe these are a red variety of potatoes. So these are actually here, this one's doing the best, but you can see right there. So these are a red variety of some kind of potato. I don't remember exactly. I have so many seeds saved up that it's hard for me to remember. But so the whole thing with this structure is it's all pallets. The only thing I have up here is, PVC pipe. And these hoop houses are very resilient. They seem to handle the wind pretty well as long as you have a solid base, which these pallets kind of weigh it down enough. So that works. So yeah, folks, you can see here the hydroponic garden, very simple hydroponics here. It's not, complicated at all. It's very passive. It works well up until the summer months, and then there's a couple months in summer where you're going to kind of have to back off on it because the temps just get too high for the solution in there unless you have to start adding inputs. So this is all for passive growing. This is like no pumps, no aeration, anything like that. So eventually, if you want to do that, or if I want to do that, I would have to probably get some solar up and then get some aeration going on in the water, because the dissolved oxygen levels inside the water are actually going to be significantly lowered once the temps go up, and then you also get to deal with algae and all that kind of stuff. So I'm still going to be working that stuff out. But anyways, in the meantime, I got to get these cats out of here. They're going to probably claw up my nets and all that. But hope everybody's doing well, and I'll talk to you soon.